All right, peace, family. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and the brothers out there working in sincerity on the highways and the byways, trying to get this truth out to our people, the Hebrew Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, Native American, Indians, West Indians. You know what I'm saying? This video is titled "A Chapter a Day Will Keep Satan Away." Just a real quick video I'm doing. I'm going to touch on a few scriptures dealing with just meditating on the Most High's word, right? In order to stay in the spirit, because we're in some very trying times, Jacob's trouble, and, things are going to heat up. And we got to be mindful that, the Most High don't play games. The Most High will choose your delusion. If you ain't in the right spirit, you could be letting in other spirits, evil spirits, wicked spirits. If you're not in the right spirit, the spirit of the Most High, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So I'm gonna start off with the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, the Shemaiah prayer, the Credo of Israel, and it goes Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And I wanted to touch on that verse 7, where it says, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. To all you brothers out there and sisters out there with children, you got to teach your kids this word. They're never too young to learn, the Most High's word and be in the spirit. Learn these prayers, offhand. I teach my children. Myself and my wife, we teach our children, So it's very important, right? Teach them diligently unto thy children. Don't think they're too young to understand. The Most High gonna put the spirit on them to soak it up, and I see it in my children. And it says, and shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house. You sitting in a house chilling, you probably watching TV, a little Netflix or whatever. You're gonna be talking about the word. How? You're gonna see stuff that's going, like you're probably watching a show, and one of the characters on the show doing something that's off, and then you're going to refer back to the word and, and say, hey, that's off, what they doing. They shouldn't be eating that, or they shouldn't be doing that, whatnot, right? Because we live in a world of wickedness, right? So, you talk about it when you sit in your house, you reflect on your day, you probably went out, you seen somebody, a woman wearing pants, or a man, acting effeminate, you just reflect back like, yo, that's off. Most High spirit ain't with them. Most High ain't dealing with them, right? Or you talk about it when you sit in your house by glorifying the Most High, giving the Most High all praise, right? All praise and glory for the blessings that you have that you don't even realize, being able to wake up in the morning and get out of bed and walk on your two legs, right? All that stuff, man. Your bodily organs are all working. You know what I mean? You got involuntary muscles and stuff and organs that's working for you that you're not necessarily telling it to work. Like how you take your arm and reach out to get something. You ain't telling your heart to beat. You ain't telling your lungs to function. You know what I'm saying? So, when you sit in the house, you just sit there, you giving all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. I'm able to, have a roof over my head. You know what I'm saying? And then reading on, it says, and when thou walkest by the way, you could be walking with your family or with a friend, giving the praise to the Most High for the trees and for the breeze. You know what I'm saying? Or, the cycle of life, or just even being able to walk, or, being able to breathe without some oxygen tube or something like that, And it says, and when thou liest down, right? So, you got to say your prayers before you go to bed and lay your head down to go to bed at night. You know what I mean? And then it says, and when thou risest up, because when you rise up, you want to what? Give all praises to the Most High, that He kept your spirit through the sleep for you to be able to wake up the next morning. You know what I'm saying? Most High blessed you with sleep, and then you wake up. Your sleep is your body re-energizing and healing from the day past. And that's a blessing in itself to be able to fall asleep, because the wicked don't sleep unless they do wickedness. You know what I mean? But the Most High will bless His righteous to sleep. All right. I'm going to read on. So Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 8. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. So how do you bind the Most High's word or commandments as a sign upon your hand? By the things you're doing. You ain't taking your hand and going out there buying unclean meats to go season up and cook. You ain't using your hands to do wickedness, pick up a gun and shoot your brother, right? So that's how you bind them upon your hand. You use your hands to do the righteous works. You use your hands to pick up a Bible, flip through the pages and read a chapter, right? You know what I'm saying? And they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes, right? So right there in your forehead, right? That's a front part of your brain. It's called the prefrontal cortex, where you make all your thoughts and decisions, right? So that's how the commandments are going to be as frontlets between thine eyes, because all your thoughts and decisions is based off of what? The Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Or I'm not going there because that's off. Or I'm not doing that because that's off. Or I'm going to do this because this is righteous. I'm going to keep Passover. I'm going to go out there and get my lamb, get my bitter herbs. You know what I'm saying? Get my unleavened bread or whatnot. Right? Get rid of all of the leaven in the house. Right? Oh, it's Sabbath coming up, so I need to prepare. Thursday I'm preparing, buying all my stuff, my Sabbath food and whatnot. Get ready for the Sabbath. Right? So your thoughts and decisions should be based off of the commandments. That's how you make them as frontlets between thine eyes. Okay? I'm going to go to the book of Joshua chapter 1. Flip through this Bible today instead of flipping through Blue Letter. Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. And it reads, the book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Right? And that's plain. There ain't nothing really to be said about that. Ain't nothing really to be, explained about that. Or, it's just the book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Right? Everything revolves around the Most High. Right? And His law, statutes, and commandments. Right? He tells you, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Right? So everything you do and say is predicated on the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Right? So why are we meditating day and night on the word? So that we can observe to do according to all that is written therein. Okay? You gotta be like Paul. Right? You gotta be like Yahushua. Right? Everything revolved around the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments when it came to Yahushua. Okay? I'm going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 1. All right. Book of Psalms, chapter 1. And I'm going to start from verse 1. It says, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. So your delight, right, your pleasure should be in the Most High's laws. Okay, and you should be meditating in that, right, day and night. Right, that's what should be the obsession of your life, doing the Most High's will. Because as we're doing it, we're preparing ourselves, right? We're preparing ourselves for the kingdom. We're preparing our soul for the kingdom, right? We're preparing our soul and spirit for the wilderness, right? Because when the Most High come back to save 1/3 and 144,000, you ain't going straight in no kingdom. You're going to be put in the wilderness for further testing, further weeding out of the rebels. See what I'm saying? So it's going to be still serious times, right? You ain't escaped everything yet, right? So you should be meditating day and night. I'm going to go to the book of Psalms again, the longest chapter in Psalms, right? 119. Psalms 119, and I believe it's 15. Psalms 119 and hold on. Yeah, verse 15. And it reads, I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. See that? So even David in his psalm said he gonna meditate again in thy precepts. Right? And what are the precepts? That's when you're linking up one verse to link up with another one to give further understanding and to elaborate on interpretations of the word. To prove an interpretation, you must have a precept to back up what you interpreted, right? How you broke it down, right? If I pull a verse, I must be able to pull another one to further prove that, okay, that's what it's saying, and it gives further enlightenment, right? So that's how you meditate in thy precepts, right? And David said, what? Have respect unto thy ways, because you got to have respect unto the Most High's ways. Okay, the Most High's mind is not our mind, right? When the Most High say don't do something, it's for your protection, for your preservation. Okay, point blank, period. The Most High's laws is not something that's grievous or hard to be kept, right? This stuff is to further your life, man. Further your spirit, protect your spirit from evil spirits, right? And from the ways of this world, right? Put one more scripture. It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, right? We all should know this one. 2 Timothy, chapter 2. In verse 15. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. See that? So, this is why it's very important to meditate on them precepts daily. Why? That's how you show yourself approved unto the Most High, right? It says a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. How can you be ashamed? When you don't know, how to explain something in the word, or you don't know what verse to pull, right? Somebody asking you a question, right? And you don't know, okay, how to answer it according to scripture, pulling the verse, giving the interpretation, and then providing a precept to back that interpretation and give further understanding and elaboration of what was said, right? Or what was being broken down, right? That's how you're going to be ashamed, right? You, especially us brothers out there going out there in the highways and, teaching off, whether you're on the highways or you just in the house teaching your family or whatnot, right? You want to be well versed. You don't want to be ashamed, right? You don't want to be fumbling through the scriptures, right? Talking about, I'll find it later. I'll get back to you. You got to be ready. You got to be on the spot ready, man. Ready to defend the gospel. You understand? And it says rightly dividing the word of truth. So rightly dividing the word of truth is you knowing the precepts upon precepts, line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? In fact, let me go there. It's the last scripture I'm going to touch on, because it talks about rightly dividing the word of truth. Isaiah, right? The book of Isaiah, chapter 28. See that? So, yeah, check Isaiah 28. I'm going to read from verse 9. Isaiah 28 and 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So that's who the Most High is going to be dealing with, giving them the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Those who are weaned from the milk. How can you be weaned from the milk? By studying. You got to study, right? The milk is just them basic scriptures, the laws, because the laws are straightforward to tell you. They tell you in Deuteronomy 27 that, before the children of Israel entered into the land, the Most High had them write plaster and write it on tables of stone, right, very plainly, right, so that it's just easy to understand, right? So you got to study. In order to be weaned from the milk, you got to learn them basics, the laws, statutes, and commandments, and them other basic scriptures, right? You got to read Proverbs, right? Ecclesiastes, Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, right? Those are scriptures meant for you to understand how to deal with your relationship between yourself and, fellow man. Okay? So you learn those, right? And then you're drawn from the breast. Then you're able to what? Deal with the meat. Go up in the book of Daniels. Go up in the book of Revelations, right? Go up in the book of 1st Esdras and 2nd Esdras, right? And then you'll be able to get further understanding, because if you keep in these laws, the Most High going to put the Spirit on you to be able to decipher and work out parables and the mysteries of the Bible. Okay? So I'm gonna start again, verse 9. Isaiah 28 and 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. See that? So the Most High, he repeats it too, because there's multiple precepts, right? There's multiple precepts. So precept upon precept upon precept upon precept. You're able to pull and back up what you're saying. Oh yeah, the Most High is only for Israel. You gotta be able to pull. Psalms 147, right? Deuteronomy chapter 7. You gotta be able to pull different precepts. Well, you don't. A lot of people, I don't believe it. It's only in the Old Testament. Give me something in the New Testament. Okay, Romans 9, or there's many other verses, right? In the Gospel, in Matthew's, right, 121 and all that. Matthew's 15, right? You got to be able to pull these precepts, right? Line upon line, here a little and there a little, because the Bible's not a necessarily a linear book, right? Linearly written book, right? You're gonna find a verse here and you're gonna find a verse over there to match it. You're gonna find one in the Old, you're gonna find one in the Apocrypha, you're gonna find one in the New Testament, right? And it's that plain. So that's it. With that, a chapter a day will keep Satan away. Stay in the Spirit. We're coming in these end times. Pray for yourself and your family that you don't get swayed to do the wrong things, or you don't lose the Spirit. You got to pray that the Most High keep you in the Spirit, because the Most High will choose your delusions if you choose that you want to go off or whatnot. We're coming in some perilous times, so stay in this Bible so you can stay in the Spirit, right? Pray daily, morning and night. Okay? And with that, I'm going to say Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad.